Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me, Vinod and Anand, back at studio, back from our recent trip to Singapore, where we had 2 days to meet some of you there, and it was a lot of fun catching up with you in person, having these discussions about investments and opportunities, and especially what's happening in the US and Japan, and explaining to you guys the importance of understanding the difference between what we've been doing in India compared to what's been happening in the US and Japan in terms of the kind of ideas we're giving you. In India, we have been doing this for at least more than 5 to 6 years, so we have a pretty long tail now to look at and see some substantial areas where you can sit and analyze growth and say, okay, we did some good ones, we did some bad ones. We've given some time at least to look at it. But in terms of what we've been doing, trying to do in US and Japan, most of you have joined us in less than a year or just about a year now. So to immediately to deep dive into that portfolio and to analyze it the way we are analyzing our Indian portfolio is just not prudent because we have not given it enough time to grow. Because in value investing, like I've been saying many times, and Anand has said, time is paramount. Not only is it important to pick the right stocks at the right price, but we have to be willing to wait and allow it to grow. And in these kinds of times where we have excess liquidity and we have macroeconomic tension and we have geopolitical tension, like what Israel has just gone and bought Qatar in Doha, the Hamas site, all these kinds of things rattle the market and we do get jitters. So these are opportunities will open up again here and there. Like Anand spoke about Nestle and how an opportunity in Nestle opened up. And Nestle is again, after the dead cat bounce, has slid down further. Do remember Nestle is a huge company and old brand. Yes, when Anand was talking about 120 Swiss francs price, it is the 5-year price he was looking at and talking about. Nestle in the last year has slid from 90 francs, has slid down to 72 francs. So this is an opportunity when you look at price to earnings. It is a great opportunity, especially for those of you who are sitting in India saying, why shouldn't I buy Nestle here? Then you should definitely be considering Nestle there. So these are the kind of strategies we've been talking about and trying to hope that you learn from this and you learn to pick stocks in the right way and be willing to wait for them to grow. We have been warning about the overpricing in artificial intelligence. Those saying artificial intelligence is great, but maybe we are not getting it right and it's better to wait and watch. And me and Anand have been discussing this off camera quite a bit, and recently came upon an article in The Economist, which shone a lot of light on what Anand has been saying. So I thought it'd be great to have this discussion with Anand, why this article particularly is important or interesting, and why we should pay attention to what this article is saying, or the general voices which are gathering around this. So Anand, what was this article you read?
The article came in Economist. It is only a article in the Economist. I would give the paper in MIT more credence. But normally, when it is very difficult for companies like the Economist to go against the wind. But what he said, which is very eye-opening for me, is there are some quarters in which their latest ChatGPT was rolled out. It didn't make the noise that iPhone 17 launch made. In fact, the iPhone 17 launch made more noise than the
ChatGPT 5.
4, 5 or whatever was the launched. And he says, according to him, that there is no significant improvement between the previous ChatGPT and this ChatGPT. I don't know whether it's true or not.
Been using it, so I can agree with this. I can attest to
Yeah,
this.
so there is not the leap that was there. And in last 12 months, according to them, large language models, which can compass everything in the world, have not made the kind of progress that they promised 12 months back. They have not been able to do it. And what are large clients requesting is they don't want large models. Somebody who needs a bot to handle a customer needs a smaller LLM, bespoke LLM, which is made for him, small LLM. He need not know anything about nuclear physics. So that LLM should know everything about the client and the company and the
And
service he is
that's process specifically.
and the process specific. So the requirement has shifted, according to that article, from large language models to small
Language models.
models. Now, these large language models require more power, more computers, and all these that have gone into investing of huge investments.
Yes, the faster graphics processors
Yeah,
and the latest processors.
and these small scale models have more than sufficient graphic cards and supporting power and all.
So the computational power of the older PCs, slower PCs
This
are
is
enough.
much more important, is enough for these guys rather than that of the latest.
So the requirement to upgrade into these faster processors may not be required for
May
the
not
small
be.
LLMs.
Yes. And according to this article, it is small LLM which is making a difference, not the large LLM.
Okay.
This is what I have been telling you. It's a giant calculator. It will replace my sales guy. It will replace my customer service. It will replace my reservation. But it cannot do everything that a human is doing at this stage.
Okay. So looking at the current way, so the initial splash which we had was like the iPhone when it was first introduced. That's what Anand's saying. He's saying when the first iPhone came out, when Steve Jobs said, "Here's the iPod and here's my thing, and now we're going to combine it in the famous video." That happened with ChatGPT launch.
Yeah,
But
but
then after that, every iteration has just been an incremental of the iPhone where we are waiting from since iPhone 13. We have not seen any massive jump.
yeah,
Same way in ChatGPT and large language models.
yeah.
What we have failed to see is any huge jump in evolution,
So
and it's been
what was
incremental.
being argued was that AI would reach godlike status.
Correct.
It's nowhere near that. What in fact is happening is it's developed into a small scale model, with each company or each industry having specific requirements, and the model being taken down and made into these packages and sold. So somebody who's doing customer service need not know about Newton and how this evolved.
Correct. So there is a fundamental shift with what Anand is saying. He's saying AI is not going away. AI is very much there and AI is going to be used. But he's saying what we were told, how AI will suddenly be this thing which will replace everything under the sun and all jobs will be taken by AI. He says that is what is in question. When if that is in question, then it draws into the question of pricing of these companies which are providing the bits and bobs and pieces of AI, be it the processors, be it the software like ChatGPT, or even auxiliary things like power companies supplying power to these companies to do this. So all of this was brought into question. Do we really need to spend this kind of money? Are these valuations worth it? Because it's the earnings. Because end of the day, fundamentally, as value investors, what we look at is future earning potential. And is saying the article is questioning the future earning potential at these prices. Is it worth it? Yes, it will be usable. Yes, it will be there. No doubt about all that. But is it worth paying these eye-watering prices? Is what you're questioning, right, Anand?
Yeah, I do not know whether that article is right or wrong, but I can see straws in the wind. People from credible papers credibly asking questions of the AI model. So this model may not be as great as what we thought it was, and there could be a deep correction. Then what will happen is people will stop investing in capacity building and making capital investments, which means the American market can get into trouble sooner than later.
Correct. So keep that in mind. This is what how Anand helps us connect these dots. It's just not an article which is appearing on a newspaper, reputed paper. He says what happens is if people start questioning and it starts building momentum, then this whole recent economy in the US is being propped up by AI and the AI boom and the AI fuel. He says if that starts rattling, then all the dominoes will start falling, which will create a wider impact to the market. It's not a doomsday scenario. It is a very probable scenario if this AI thing is in question because the amount of bet being placed on AI is stellar to say the least. If you look at the price points of the $4 trillion company, $3 trillion company, 2 trillion, and recently even Broadcom joining the bandwagon and becoming another $1 trillion company. So this kind of brings the question: are we getting a little carried away with AI and this AI? What AI can deliver. Yes, it is going to deliver things, but not at the price and earnings expectations where the market is thinking it is at. It's probably going to be very different from the way we initially imagined it to be. So, as small investors, when we look at this, we should be very cautious and should be prudent in what we are applying. Anand's always said NVIDIA is not going to disappear. Microsoft is not going to disappear. But what might disappear is the kind of valuations we are seeing where NVIDIA is sitting. It may come down to more earthly realms and you don't want to be holding the short straw at that point of time. This is what Anand is trying to tell us repeatedly, over and over again, when it comes to AI.
Thank you for watching, Birich. I hope you liked this video. If you did, send this to your friends and letters and have them take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Birich.
Thank you.